I'm expecting Josh Dobbs to have a huge game tonight. You hear me? Like, listen, I'm going into this game with the hopes that Josh Dobbs really turns me into a full-time believer, and I feel like we can make a deep run in the playoffs with a quarterback like Josh Dobbs. That happens tonight for me. You hear me? Like, this is the thing. Last time he played at home, we know he played against the Saints, right? He had a pretty good game. You had some people that criticized him on that game in the second half. I put that on Kevin O'Connell for playing not to lose the game. All right. What we need to happen tonight on national television Monday night. And by the way, me and SK are going to be on PSF. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. And by the way, man, I just launched the merch store, man. The Purple Pocket Shop. Make sure you tapping in. Go over there, grab you some merch, man. It's the holidays. It's the holidays, man. You got to grab something for a family member, a friend. Support our content creators, man. Let's get it, right? But I expect Josh Dobbs to have a huge game tonight. Okay, like, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Josh Dobbs is going to go out there and he's going to have 3 touchdowns. Okay, now I had the score 24-17. I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with the guns. I'm sticking with it. I think that we will put up 3 touchdowns and we will get a field goal. Greg Joseph, don't let us down, Greg Joseph. Do not let us down. Listen, the Bears, when I think about the Chicago Bears, I think about Brian Flores having their number when it comes to the defensive scheme. I just think Brian Flores has figured them out quick. You know, like once he got hired by the Minnesota Vikings, he probably went through and said, you know what? Let me look at the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, and let me see in the past couple years what they did, their tendencies, and let me lock them in first and figure out how to stop them. And I think the Bears, he got it like that right off the rip because we had it just looked like the defensive scheme was perfect when we played the Bears. All right, the game was close. It was close, and it always is when we go to Soldier Field, right? Regardless of how trash the Bears are, it always is. So that's not surprising to me. What's surprising to me, let me say this. What would be surprising to me is if the Bears come into US Bank Stadium and they beat us. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, again, the player I'm looking at tonight, the player I'm focusing on the most is Josh Dobbs. Why? Because I want to become a believer. I want to become a believer that, listen, this team is in position right now that you look at the Eagles, you look at the 49ers. These guys are playing at a high level, but things can happen. So there is still some slight hope there because things can happen. We don't wish injury on anybody, but hey, I'm going to say it again, things can happen. You hear me? So there's a possibility when it's time to battle against these guys, they might not be full strength. All right. We went through that with the 49ers because I'm watching the 49ers now with Deebo Samuel, and there's a huge difference. There is a big difference. All right. They're back to the 49ers. Okay. So that could possibly happen in a playoff matchup against one of these teams. Although we might not be full strength, a quarterback like Josh Dobbs comes in. Hey, man, let's see it, man. Put your magic on. Put your magic on, Dobbs. Yogi had a good point before we get out of here. Yogi said, man, listen, in that game, once he got hit by Kareem Jackson, Yogi said he thinks he was concussed, man. And you know what? Now that I look back at it, I actually went back and watched that play again last night after he said that. I'm like, you know what? Let me go look into that because that is kind of weird. And I kind of went and watched, 5-6 plays after that. And he kind of did, man. He kind of did, bro. He kind of did. I ain't gonna lie. It seemed like his balance was off a little bit. He just wasn't moving the same. Like, things did change. So that was a good point. That was a good point, man. I think that hit rocked him, bro. I think that hit rocked him. Because if you look at that hit in slow motion, man, he took it. He took it on the chin, literally. But, man, Josh Dobbs, man, 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing. He's going to have about 278 yards. It's going to be a killer game. The Pastronaut, the Rocket Man, whatever you want. Hey, we got Rocket Man shirts on the merch store too, so make sure you tap in. But yeah, man, whatever you want to call him, I'm going Josh Dobbs. Going to have a big game. That's my spotlight player. Let's go tap in with your boy after, or actually, I don't know if we're going to be doing anything after the game, but tomorrow we'll be doing rapping for days. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Holla at your boy.
Yeah, smooth summer, who running? I hear them talking, but they ain't gon' do nothing. Celebration, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Yes.